Good afternoon everybody and welcome back to Market Insights with Linux, and welcome to a new video here on gold. Wanted to cover gold today. It's been a couple of days since we covered this last. I think the last time we covered it we were in this this fall right here. So I wanted to do a quick technical update right here. We've been in the last two videos I made on gold, my only two videos on gold. We've been pretty spot on. I mean, if you go to my first video I ever uploaded on this, we called the top right here. Precisely in this red area, so very happy with that. Hopefully that helped some of you as well. And then we also called that it was most likely we would drop down, and so far we've dropped down. It just barely missed my order right here at 3,250 or 3,250. We spiked down towards this level at 3,260. From there bounced back up and got back into balance, but we'll talk about the technicals in a moment. It's pretty clear to me that gold at some point of time is going to break out, but at this point of time we are within balance. All right, this is a major liquidity zone right here, between 3,350 and 3,290. Obviously those are areas as well, but those are the two main areas I'm looking at right now for potential breaks. And then what I usually want to do first before talking about gold, and I'll try to zoom in a bit here so it's so you can see it a bit better. But usually what I try to talk about first is the fundamentals. Of course, the price of gold on a micro level is also moved by technicals, but on the macro level and the major moves, the trends, are always formed by the fundamentals. And fundamentals, and that's also one of the key reasons gold has dropped down in price by quite a fair amount. I mean, it's not too much. I mean, the entire drop was about 6.75%, and that's absolute top to absolute bottom. But ultimately, what we've seen, even though it has turned around quite a fair bit this week, is some more stability in the market. All right, you can see today, for example, the S&P 500 is doing pretty good. Was also to be expected. That was in line with what we said about the S&P 500 earlier this week, on Monday and Tuesday after hitting that support. But at the same point of time, you can see that the volatility index is dropping down, and U.S. bond yields are up right here on the 1 hour time frame. But if you zoom out, those have also stabilized, at least to the same levels they were at during the majority of March. So in general, like I said, I mean, it's very you very much have to trade based on headlines. But with all the recent headlines we've had over the last, well, let's call it 4 days, the market has stabilized. All right, so that is ultimately bearish for gold. Of course, gold tends to surge when there's instability. So therefore, look, if you zoom out here on gold, we're obviously still in a major uptrend, right? So that is very much not the question. I still think we're in an uptrend, and I don't really see, like, maybe if we drop down below this main support level and it's trying to load in a volume profile, it's not doing a good job. Maybe if we drop down below this level right here at 3,150, that's also the main support I'm personally looking at. Maybe if we drop down below that, then I can conclude, all right, well, this might be the start of a turnaround. But right now, I think that's much too early. And I would say, given the fundamental situation, it's also still better to buy gold than to short or to sell gold. But on the short term, we're very much still dependent on what the market will do. All right, and given the stability we've seen, the main two levels are right here at 3,350 and 3,290. Look, if it turns around and we'll break above 3,350, I'll buy gold. All right, I'll buy it as soon as I can. But at this point of time, it looks slightly more likely we're going for the bearish breakdown. All right, so something like this. And still, like I said, I'm not looking to short. I'm not looking to sell gold right now. I still think it's best to look for buy opportunities. And for me, even though we barely missed that, or we front ran it right here on Wednesday, for me the main level I'm looking at is still this level right here around 3,250. There we have a major support level, technically a little bit lower. We also have a major POC, point of control, at 3,220. So I'll take that into account when sending the order, of course. Probably put stop loss somewhere around 3,200. But that still seems to be the most like the best buy opportunity. And then now, will I set limit orders there? Probably not. But if we get a good reaction there, I think that's an amazing buy order. And then the ultimate level we're looking at is that level right here at 3175 down to 3140. That's an immense support level. You got the 200 EMA there, you have a huge amount of liquidity there, you got the 30-day rolling VWAP there, you have the 0.618 FIB there, you have a normal support level there, but that is from the current price, that's a drop of about 5% again. And that's not what I expect right now. So if we drop down into that, great. But for now, I would focus on that level right here at 3240. Get a good reaction there, buy gold. That's at least my strategy. And then if the fundamental situation changes, keep your eyes on 3350, break out above that, and we can easily get back into 3500 as well. But that's what I think you need to know about gold for today. So if you do have any questions, anything, let me know down in the comments. Also make sure to join our free Telegram channel in which I post daily updates regarding the markets, gold, S&P 500, stocks. So hopefully I'll see you there. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.